out for a third straight game with a head injury. His backup, Benny Gieler, he's out with an illness. So we're going to see the 7-footer Maxime Raynaud play some point guard today.
He's going to have some more decision-making responsibilities, but also Sellers, he's going to have to make some decisions. He's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive looking to score the basketball.
Now Sellers has the ball now. He's their second leading scorer. Raynaud leads the ACC in scoring and rebounding. And he throws this one into the front row. An early turnover for Stanford. Starting lineups for NC State. O'Connell, again, played at Stanford, graduated in 3 years. Marcus Hill is their leading scorer at 18 a game, and then Dontrez Styles has been playing well over his last 3. An off shooting night Wednesday against Cal, but played well against Clemson and Duke. Wolfpack trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. Middlebrooks too strong. The key for Middlebrooks, who's fighting an illness today, is going to be to stay out of foul trouble.
And they have to be able to find another guy besides Styles to really help them offensively. Talk to Coach Keats, and I think Middlebrook is a guy they need to give some inside threat, some inside scoring, and then on the other end, he has to be able to be physical with Raynaud without fouling.
Oziyah Sellers able to get to the free throw line. Eric in conference play, 15 a game, and he's pretty much a 50, 40, 90 guy.
He's an efficient guy. He has to look to be aggressive. I mean, without Blake's playing, without Gieler playing, those are their two primary ball handlers. He has to be able to make decisions, but he can't let that take him away from being aggressive, looking to get to the basket, looking to get some opportunities.
And Ben Middlebrooks, who only played 16 minutes in the loss Wednesday to Cal because of foul trouble, just picked up his first.
And that's big for North Carolina State. With Huntley out, if Middlebrooks gets in foul trouble, who is going to be that second guy to step up and guard Raynaud? Likely it'll be Styles, which you would think favors Stanford.
Yeah, we may see a little bit of Ishmael Diouf again. He played a season-high 24 minutes in the loss to Cal on Wednesday. Here is O'Connell over Raynaud, and the rebound by Styles. And Styles stepped out of bounds, so a turnover by NC State. You mentioned clash of tempo. NC State wants to press. They want to speed up Stanford, a team that doesn't have a ton of depth, and Stanford wants to make this a half-court game.
Well, honestly, North Carolina State has just been struggling scoring the ball in half-court, really any type of way. They've been struggling scoring. They have to be able to create turnovers and then look to get out and get easy opportunities in transition.
So you saw Raynaud bringing the ball up, and the turnover off the hand of Oziyah Sellers. Kevin Keats told us we want to run. They want to pressure Stanford, wear the Cardinal down.
And it needs, they want to run because they've been struggling scoring the ball in half court. They're 17th in scoring in the ACC. It's second to last.
Open look here for Marcus Hill. He's not a great outside shooter. Foul is on Styles, his first.
Anish, another guy right here. Agarwal is the guy who could, he's capable of handling the ball. He's not super comfortable, but he's another guy that Stanford needs to step up, be able to make good decisions, and just be aggressive, look for opportunities at the rim.
2 minutes in, neither team with a field goal. There's Jaden Taylor. Second season with NC State after time at Butler, blocked by Raynaud.
One thing you can't do if you're North Carolina State, you can't be hesitant going to the rim. Just that little second right there allowed Raynaud to come over and get that block on Taylor. Great job right there by Taylor getting into the paint, but just a little bit slow on the finish, and Raynaud was able to be there and get the good block for Stanford.
Middlebrooks setting the pick for O'Connell. Hill picked up by Donovan Young, the freshman. Jump stop, turn around. Offensive rebound of Raynaud. Quickly up ahead to Sellers. Defensive rebound by Raynaud, and yet another turnover. That's 4 now for Stanford. Sloppy early, and the other way, the layup, no good. Raynaud another rebound, and we get a foul, and boy, neither team with a field goal more than 3 minutes in.
And you think this pace right now would favor NC State. They want to try to junk it up a little bit. You saw the turnover by Stanford getting out in transition. North Carolina State has to finish those opportunities at the rim. And when they're in half court, they can't be hesitant. You got to attack the basket and go up and look for your opportunity when it presents itself.
So Dontrez Styles at the free throw line, 24 against Clemson, 18 against Duke. And Kevin Keats told him, hey, don't let him miss impact you. He wants Styles to keep shooting.
Who's going to be the go-to guy for North Carolina State? I believe it's Dontrez Styles. Regardless if you're missing or making, you have to continuously be aggressive, looking for your opportunities. When you do that, not only does it present more for you, but it presents more for your teammates as well.
Sellers on the drive, and still no field goals in this game.
It was a good look for Sellers. You see him coming off that handoff and just attacking downhill. Keep it simple. Just attack the basket, get to the rim, but you have to be able to finish.
Another miss off an open look. That time Paul McNeil, the freshman, who once scored a NC State record 71 points in a high school game. Ismail Diouf, number 33 in red, in there for NC State. Aiden Kamen in there, number 52 in white, another big for Stanford. Raynaud getting a breather. 5 to shoot. Sellers contested. That grazes the rim, tracked down by Hill. Bounce pass. Diouf, then we finally have our first field goal of the game.
And Anish, this is how North Carolina State can really score the basketball. Turnovers turn into transition, or long rebounds off a bad shot, getting out, playing fast. You see the opportunity present itself. North Carolina State took advantage.
Stanford coming off back-to-back losses. They are without their point guard, Jalen Blakes. He's a big part of their offense, big part of their defense, best perimeter defender, a captain. Shot clock winding down. Young hoists it up, and the 3 is good. Stanford with its first field goal, just the 8th 3 of the season for Young, who's been in and out of the lineup all year with a leg injury.
You talked about Blakes being out. We know Raynaud and Sellers can score the basketball, but who's going to be that other guy that really steps up? Young is more than capable stepping up and scoring the basketball.
How about Ismail Diouf, meanwhile, the junior from Quebec? A couple of points here for NC State. He's got 4 of the 5. Ryan Agarwal brings it across. Came to Stanford with a reputation as a three-point shooter. He's been inconsistent with the shot. And that 3 from the outside goes. Jalen Thompson, who's making just his second start of the season today.
And this is what Stanford needs. And we know they don't want to play a super fast pace, but you don't want to get stagnant in the half court and not have good ball movement. Good ball movement in the half court creates open opportunities.
McNeil through the contact and called for the offensive foul. We have come to our first media timeout. Almost 6 minutes in. Took a while for the scoring to get going. Took a while for somebody to hit a field goal. It was Ismail Diouf with 4 of NC State's 5, and then Thompson, a big 3 for Stanford. This game has featured more turnovers than field goals. Anish Schraub, former Syracuse standout, Eric Devendorf. For Stanford, they're down their top 2 point guards today. It's shown early.
It's shown early. They have to be able to take care of the ball. They have to get some ball movement to create advantages, either driving opportunities or getting to the paint for a drive and kick. And then when Raynaud is in the ball game, give him the basketball.
Raynaud's had to carry the ball up because of, again, the injuries to Blakes and Gieler. And he had 3 turnovers before going to the bench briefly. He's back into the game. And NC State, we're going to see this. The pressure to try to speed Stanford up. No call there. Dennis Parker collided with Chisholm Okpara. Now the Harvard transfer, Okpara backing down Parker. And he stepped. Now, Okpara was somebody that Kyle Smith said he's looking to kind of be that number 3 guy offensively with Blake's out.
Well, he's capable. He's kind of an undersized forward, but he could shoot the 3. He could handle it a little bit, and he's really strong. You see him right there. He's able to get into the post and just shuffle his feet a little bit. But he's another guy that's more than capable of stepping up and being that 3rd option for Stanford.
Yeah, so is Trey Parker. The freshman has had his moments of late. Had the 15-point game against Duke, and he knocks down the triple. Here's the freshman. And 2 shots for Anthony Batson, athletic freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona. And again, with the guard depth depleted, you'll see a little more of him today.
And Anish, I think a big thing for both teams, a lot of these guys are stepping into roles that they've never had. They have to do a little bit more. They just have to be aggressive. Don't be hesitant in your decision making. If you have an opportunity at the basket, you have to attack and look for those opportunities. Don't second guess yourself as a basketball player. That's really how you make more mistakes.
And what they miss with Blake's, those are just the offensive numbers. You lose leadership, you lose defense. Yeah, he generally guards the other team's best perimeter player. Jaden Taylor. Here comes Trey Parker. The drive, the kick, and a 3. Back irons for Dennis Parker. Offensive rebound. Second chance. Guess who's there? Raynaud, the ACC leader in rebounds at 11+ per game.
North Carolina State has to be able to hit some jump shots to loosen that Stanford defense. You see everybody is boxed in, boxes and elbows, and it's tough for North Carolina State to really get in there.
Yeah, we really haven't seen Raynaud get a post touch. Shot clock winding down. Raynaud with a high post, no room, heaves it up, and the rebound snagged by Bryce Hurd, the freshman from Chicago.
It's only been 8 minutes in the game, and already 3 or 4 possessions for Stanford where they had to get a shot with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
And the foul is on Batson.
And at least to your point about not getting the ball to Raynaud, that's the absence of Blake's, a guy who knows how to get in position to get him the ball. These other guys aren't used to playing that position, so they have to find out a way to get him the ball to where he can be effective.
Now, Raynaud is scoreless. He has 4 rebounds. He also has 3 turnovers. That one spins in and out for Hurd. NC State shooting only 32% from 3 in conference play. They have not been a good 3-point shooting team this year.
And settling for those jump shot really plays to Stanford's favor. They'll take those all day.
Let's see if Raynaud goes at Middlebrooks, who's got the 1 foul. He does. And he knew it. He knew Middlebrooks didn't want to pick up that 2nd foul.
And with Blake's out, he has to be ultra aggressive. You got to look to get the ball, and you got to look to attack.
Parker gets free, heaves and hits.
He's a guy that's really capable of making tough shots. Really, with him, it's just his decision making. Not trying to be so erratic when you're getting to the basket or get to the basket. Play with pace, make good decisions.
Couple of threes for Trey Parker. Donovan Young left it short, but drew the foul.
And with Blake's out, Raynaud is the man. You see him going to the chest of Middlebrooks, who has 1 foul, finishing with the left.
Stanford's Maxime Raynaud is a true Parisian Renaissance man. Let's count the ways. He's got the height. 7-footer. You want height? You've got the Eiffel Tower. He's got flow like the Seine River. Little shot fake. Will flow down the lane. You want some more? Well, how about a three-point shot? A little arc de triomphe. He can do that too. Shooting 34% from beyond the arc. It's part of his game. He can rebound a la staining the glass, like the stained glass at Notre Dame. Leads the ACC in rebounding at almost 12 per game. He can do it all. Mentioned to us when we were talking to him today, one of his favorite things to do in Paris, just sit at cafes, watch people go by. Things are slow for you, fast for everybody else. One of the great cities in the world. And he's got the personality as well, which is kind of what makes him a superstar in this league.
He's got the personality, and he's turned into more of a vocal leader this season for a team, which is huge. If you want to be the leader of the team, obviously you could do it by your play, but then vocalize it a little bit more and really get these guys in position to win basketball games. And we know he's capable of bringing the ball up and making those decisions, but for Stanford, where he's most effective is in the post. Get him the ball where he can be most effective, and then let him be aggressive.
How much does bringing the ball up court take away from him, and how much of that does it take out of him?
Well, it takes a lot, especially when North Carolina State is going to pick you up full court. When you get to the top of key, you're already tired to make a decision or make a play. So you got to have somebody else besides him bring the ball up. Sellers, Agarwal, one of those guys, and then get him where he can be most effective in half court, which is in that mid-post area.
Middlebrooks coming all the way out near the logo to pick him up. He knows Middlebrooks has the 1 foul. They go down low. Okpara into the corner. Donovan Young, too much. And if that's on Middlebrooks, that's going to be 2. And that is 2 on Middlebrooks.
Yeah, Okpara has to see that mismatch. He had Hill on him. All he had to do is turn and just go right up to the basket.
Middlebrooks, who again battling a bit of an illness, which has been going through the team. In his previous 4 games, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 14 fouls.
Yeah, he has to be able to play basketball physical without fouling. They need him on the court.
Now, Kevin Keats told us this was going to be part of the plan. They were going to pick up Raynaud wherever he was. They wouldn't be afraid to switch off of him even when he's on the perimeter. Okpara battling down low against Styles. Wild hook. I don't think that hit the rim. And it is a shot clock violation.
Well, you even see him right now. Look how tired he is. He's handling the ball all the way out by half court for 5 seconds. And then he gets to the three-point line. He's exhausted. You have to have somebody else get the ball, get him in position where he can be most effective.
Who's that guy?
For me, for Stanford, it would be Sellers. Sellers is a guy who can handle the ball. He can make decisions. He's more of a scorer, but he's capable of handling the basketball.
Here comes Styles over the freshman Young, and Styles draws the foul.
In half court, NC State has been struggling mightily, right? They can't shoot the ball at a high level. Who are you going to go to? Who's the guy who's going to step up? We talked about Dontrez Styles. It has to be him. He's versatile. He can get into the mid-post. He can shoot the 3. Let him get the basketball, be aggressive, and look to make plays in the half court.
Wolfpack in the midst of a 7-game losing streak. It's the longest of the Kevin Keats era. The last 3 have all been double-digit losses. ACC men's basketball Wednesday. These are some high IQ teams right here. Stanford at Georgia Tech, Cal at Duke. Play-by-play and analysts will will need to freshen up on the vocabulary.
Absolutely. We're both Syracuse guys. We got some high IQs.
Yeah, but we
over
don't get
here,
into those schools.
No, absolutely not.
And another call.
And Anisha, I just think he's just using so much energy and effort out there on the perimeter dribbling the ball. You have to be able to get him into areas where he doesn't have to use so much effort. He could just turn, make a move, and then look to be aggressive towards the hoop.
It's a clock issue that they're working on. Clarence Armstrong, Isaac Barnett, and Michael Kitts, the officials today. Now you start to think about NC State and what they did last year. They limped into the ACC tournament, losing their last 4 regular season games. Then win 5 games in 5 days to get the automatic qualifier, eventually get to the Final Four. You win the ACC tournament as a 10 seed. You get to the Final Four as an 11 seed. You were on a similar run with Syracuse back in 2006 where you knew you needed a big week in the Big East tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. 4 games, 4 days. Jerry McNamara goes nuts. You try to bottle that up if you're NC State. You have some guys from that team. Like, what's the secret sauce that gives you belief and gives you faith that you can pull off one of those runs?
I think the biggest thing is every guy has to be able to buy into their role. What can they really do to impact this team? The difference between NC State this year and last year is last year they had a guy who, hey, I'm going to give you the ball, you go ahead, you can score. Who's that guy this year for NC State? Is it Styles? Is it Taylor? They really have to have a definitive guy step up into that role.
Yeah, is it Marcus Hill? You guys had Jerry McNamara, and you had your moments too.
Well, we had Jerry McNamara, and then we had other guys when defensively they took him out that could step up and get a bucket.
NC State from that Final Four team. Horn and Burns were the big losses, but 8 newcomers, 5 transfers, 3 freshmen. The Wolfpack have not won a game away from home this season. 0-8 in neutral and true road games. And even with that basket by Hill, 5 of 18 from the field, and it's allowed Stanford to stay in this game despite just 9 field goal attempts and 6 turnovers.
Well, honestly, the way this game is being played, NC State wants to play like this. Half court, they're not great. We talked about that score in the basketball. They want to be able to junk it up a little bit. They're physical defensively. They want to be able to cause some turnovers. If they can get space in the half court, their guards are more than effective driving downhill. A guy like Marcus Hill, you just want to give him a little bit of space, and then he's strong and powerful to get downhill. You see him scoring right there with the right hand over Raynaud.
And Taylor took the rebound from his teammate Styles off the Agarwal miss. Styles against Thompson. Faces up. And it rolls through. And here's the press.
And Styles has that in his game. He could face up, he could jab, he could go get into the paint. He's more than capable of scoring the basketball in that area.
Styles began at North Carolina, Georgetown last year, where he averaged a dozen a game. Raynaud down low. The Frenchman. No good with the lefty hook. Agarwal's tip not there. Stays with it and eventually mops up.
And these are the other guys, Anish, who really need to step up, whether it's an offensive rebound, diving on the floor. They need to be able to add value to the team. And for Raynaud in the half court, you know they're going to bring that double team, NC State. You have to be more decisive in your decision making and just attack.
Hill from Doof, and that's a goaltend. Sloppy 12.5 minutes at Maples Pavilion. NC State up now. Stanford, they got here on Monday. Kevin Keats was joking with us this morning. He said, yeah, we're basically West Coast guys at this point.
And it is what it is now. Like, teams are going to have to deal with this travel schedule coming all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. You can't make any excuses. You got to come out here. You got to be ready to play.
And Stanford and Cal, for their East Coast trips, they've been doing the same. They've been leaving on Monday and then just staying all week on the East Coast before heading back. Now, NC State has probed a weakness. They don't think Stanford has any reliable ball carriers. Look how far they're picking up Stanford, not just in the backcourt, but in the front court as well.
Well, their offense is starting out by the half-court line. In the time that they get to the three-point line or inside the paint, they got 5-6 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, and it results in another turnover. Styles off balance, and it draws the foul. Fourth team foul on Stanford.
And again, this is how North Carolina State wants to play. They want to be able to create havoc on the defensive side of the ball, create turnovers, and if they have to play in a half-court set, give it to your guy, Dontrez Styles. Give it to one of your guards and attack, try to get downhill. If you can't make it, get an opportunity at the foul line like you see Styles right now.
Stanford, 7 turnovers today. They average a little under 11 a game. And you look at the last game against Wake Forest, 11 assists, 17 turnovers. Turnovers the last few games without Blakes has been problematic for Stanford.
Well, 31 turnovers in their last 2 games, not only without Blakes, but without Gieler, 2 of their primary ball handlers. I mean, you're seeing it right now. Stanford is struggling without those 2 guys.
Kaman looking for help. That's not the guy Stanford wanted to bring the ball up.
That's North Carolina State is just doing a great job of being in. NC State doing a great job of being in Stanford's pocket, making them make a quick decision.
Mike, you know better.
Michael O'Connell picking up the foul. First game back on the farm after 3 years and a degree from Stanford. And here is Sellers. He gets the front end of the 1-and-1. Sellers and Raynaud only have 5 points in the first half. And again, with Blake's out, Stanford needs those guys, needs those 2 to get at least 35 to 40. This is not a particularly deep Stanford squad.
Well, it's 6 minutes left in the half, 6:45. Raynaud has 3 shots, and Sellers has 2 shots. You should at least have 8 to 10 apiece in this first half, especially with your best defender and best ball handler not playing.
Styles nearly lost it, turns it over. Stinson up ahead to Sellers. In transition, wipers past the defender, and then Stinson to follow.
And Anish, I think for both teams, if they can create turnovers in the half court and then get out and get easy opportunities in transition where they don't have to play against a set defense, that favors both teams.
Stinson picks up the foul.
See Styles right there, just stumbling, turn it over, and then it's just creating easy opportunities for Stanford at the rim. Good job by Stinson following up the miss. But both teams, they need to be able to create turnovers to get easy transition opportunities on the other end.
Ishmael Diouf misses the free throw. He's the de facto backup big. Brandon Huntley Hatfield did not make the trip out to California, out with a shoulder injury, and that's a big loss down low given the foul trouble issues Ben Middlebrooks has had.
And Coach Keith said Ishmael's more of an offensive guy, but right now you see him moving his puppies a little bit. He's able to stay in front and cause havoc for these Stanford guys.
He's got 5 points and a rebound in 9 minutes. Stinson, the freshman out of Cheney, Washington, just outside of Spokane.
And this has to happen. When you have guys injured, it presents opportunities for other guys to come up, and you just have to be aggressive.
Nobody found Taylor on the back cut. They need Jaden Taylor to bust out of a shooting slump, just 28% over his previous 4 games. There's Okpara. Tied a season high with 14 last time out. Hard drive, and the rebound snagged by Trey Parker. Taylor calling for it. Parker didn't see him. Diouf on the drop-off. A scramble. And it goes to Stanford.
And honestly, Anish, you probably don't want Ishmael driving and trying to, you know, make a decision, drop off pass like that. If I'm North Carolina State in the half court set, we know you're struggling shooting the ball. You have to be able to get downhill, or you have to be able to cut to the basket like you saw Taylor on the previous possessions to get those opportunities. But really what they want to do is create turnovers and then get out and get easy opportunities in transition. I do like what NC State is doing, putting on the press. They know that Stanford doesn't have a primary ball handler who can really make decisions, and Stanford has been struggling this half, even just getting it across half court, getting into a flow with their offense. 7
turnovers for Stanford in this first half. Agarwal turns it over, make it 8. Up ahead, Parker in trouble. Styles right there.
And again, this is how NC State wants to play. One thing my coach told me growing up, never drive, jump, and pass. Don't jump in the air and then try to pass the ball. Land on 2 feet, get in a good position where you can make a decision.
Sellers coughs it up, turnover number 9. Hill leading the break, too much. Offensive rebound. Kamen the block on Dontrez Styles.
Really, NC State is leaving the door open just by missing those opportunities at the rim.
Young missed a bunny. Can't get it on the follow. O'Connell almost walked. That sort of sums up the first half, doesn't it?
Well, me and you could go out there and play right now, honestly.
Oh, one of us could.
Yeah. It's just been a sloppy first half. But I think a guy like O'Connell, he could get him in their set and get a good shot in the half court.
O'Connell misses the wild layup. Sellers the rebound. Stanford 6 of 18 from the field. NC State 9 of 24. Sellers with the bucket to make it a 4-point game.
And you're going to have to be able to make some shots like that. Those are tough shots, but to sustain a whole game, you got to get some flow in your offense. When you do get in transition, you have to be able to make the right decision.
Trey Parker with his 3rd three-pointer of this first half. He's been really the one bright spot on both teams.
We talked about having a guy you could go to when you have nothing, a guy who can create and make tough shots, and Trey Parker is stepping up and being that guy for NC State.
Sellers at the other end. Now Parker with 9 points in the opening half. That's double his season average.
So, Anish, if I'm Sellers, I'm looking to be aggressive on every single possession. If I don't have an opportunity at the rim, the defense is going to collapse, and you got an opportunity for your teammate.
Dennis Parker went right around Aiden Kamen. NC State has made 7 of its last 9 from the field.
Anisha, another thing for Stanford right now is they don't have a guy out there who's recognizing the mismatch. Okpara right now, if I'm Okpara in the half court, and it was a great take by Sellers. He has to continue to be aggressive, but Okpara right now has a guy like Parker on him. You got to be able to take advantage of that in the half court.
Raynaud at the scores table, and I think you made a great point on Sellers having to take over. There was a moment not long ago where, again, he's calling for it. He says, I'll do it myself.
And that's what you have to do, especially with the Blakes out. Who's going to step up and be the man?
There's Okpara through a double for 2.
I mean, he has the mismatch every single time in the half court. 6'8", he's super strong. Give him the ball and get an opportunity at the rim to make it or get fouled and have 2 shots.
Okpara averaged 16.5 last year for Harvard in the Ivy League. O'Connell, who had that great ACC tournament last year. Parker, rainbow, pot of gold. Oh, the freshman feeling it. A dozen on 4 first-half threes.
I'll tell you one thing. Basketball is a game of confidence. Regardless of your shooting percentages, when you're feeling good, you're feeling good. And that's how Trey Parker is feeling right now for NC State.
Sellers wants a screen. Trying to drive past Parker, knocked away. 10 to shoot, Stanford ball. Raynaud and Stinson coming in for the Cardinal.
His name is Trey Parker. 4 for 5 from the field, 4 for 4 from three-point land. The rest of the team is 8 for 23. He's hitting them with the slip and slide. We talked about in the beginning, NC State is looking for that go-to guy. Right now, Trey Parker is saying, call my name.
Yeah, Trey Parker with some Matt Stones tonight. He's got a dozen, 4 for 4 from 3. The rest of the team, just 8 for 23. Raynaud, he's got 4. Been a quiet first half offensively for the ACC's leading scorer.
That's where he needs to get the ball at. Get the ball, turn over that left shoulder, right hand hook, left hand hook, whatever it is. Just be aggressive in that spot on the floor.
Taylor driving on Okpara. Back iron. Rebound comes to Evan Stinson.
And Anisha, I think Taylor is another guy for North Carolina State who's more than capable of getting into the paint and creating something. He has to look to be more aggressive and look for opportunities.
Sellers ironsides it. About a 4.5 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. O'Connell measuring Sellers. 6 to shoot. O'Connell's pass deflected by Raynaud. This is Dennis Parker with 1. No good. Rebound Young. And the first half comes to an end. That will not count.
Teams, when stuff breaks down, they always have a guy to go get the ball and create something with nothing. Is it going to be Trey Parker for this NC State team?
Is it going to be Dontrez Styles, who had 8 points in the first half and a chance for 2 here?
If I'm Dontrez Styles and I get the ball that deep, I'm turning, facing, ripping through and going, putting my shoulder into his chest. If I don't finish at the rim, I'm going to get opportunity at the free throw line.
Donovan Young picked up the foul. You said earlier you felt Styles was somebody who could be the alpha in this Wolfpack. Why?
Well, he's versatile. He could do it inside. He could do it outside. He has the ability to be able to change direction on the dribble. And I think defensively, he's a guy who can guard multiple positions. He can guard a big, and then he can also switch and guard a guard. He's a guy who's highly recruited coming out of high school, and I just think he has that capability to be able to do it on both ends of the floor.
Wolfpack again picking up 90 feet after the made basket, the made free throw. Sellers with 10 in the first half. He led Stanford. Almost a turnover.
Anish, without Blakes, they just don't have that guy to be able to make those decisions. For Sellers in the half court, Stanford has to find a way to get him into the handoff and get downhill, get into the rim.
And that's a desperation three-pointer by Stinson. You're NC State. You say, okay, if those are the shots that you're going to get, you tip your cap. I'm guessing Kevin Keats is okay with that.
He's okay with that. But on the other hand, if you're Stanford, you'll take those shots as well. You need other guys to be able to step up and make an impact. And sometimes that's hard for guys to come in and play a role that they're not used to playing.
7 for Stinson. That's a career high. That one rimmed out for Styles. Stanford can tie it with a 3. Hill defending Agarwal. Now Raynaud against Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks got into foul trouble, picked up 2 in the first half. Raynaud, and 1 for the Frenchman, and that is 3 on Ben Middlebrooks.
Raynaud is more capable from starting outside and working his way in. Middlebrooks has to learn how to play defense without using his hands. Right here, Raynaud, just a good job getting into his chest, and great players make tough shots. Middlebrooks has to do a better job of sliding his feet and beating Raynaud to that spot.
Yeah, that's twice now where it felt like Maxime Raynaud baited Middlebrooks into a foul.
He's a high IQ player. He knows if Middlebrooks is going to play with his hands, he's going to take advantage of that and draw the foul.
He's a math minor, a computer science major, and a chess player, so it checks out.
I was a CRS major.
Communication, rhetorical studies?
Guess what? I can speak my butt off.
You spoke some French on the court too, didn't you? There's Hill with a chance for a three-point play. Different kind of French.
A different kind of French. Hill's strength is really getting to the rim. If he can turn that corner and use his strong body, put his shoulder in his chest, he's going to have a greater chance of finishing at the rim. Opportunity for an and one.
Anish Shroff, Eric Devendorf, I had to say I was surprised before the game how friendly and cordial the officials were with you when they came over to say hello.
Yeah, we've had our back and forth over the years. Yes, over the years. So now I'm on the other side. So it's a different type of relationship that we have.
O'Connell guarding his former teammate Agarwal. Now Raynaud. Stinson. Styles wants to drive on Stinson. Boy, he saw that, went right at him, and able to draw the foul.
Really a semi-transition opportunity for NC State. Great job by Styles recognizing it. He was late on the closeout. Just rip and go. Be simple, get to the basket, be aggressive.
Styles has done most of his work at the free throw line tonight. 7 for 9 from the stripe. Only a 66% free throw shooter entering play.
But what that's telling me, Anish, is he's being aggressive. And for NC State, you want Styles to be aggressive.
Trey Parker into the game. He had the big first half with the 4 threes. Agarwal gets free off the screen, drops it off to Okara for 2.
Stanford has to just look to attack. Stop playing with the basketball up top. Your favorite NC State doing that. Look for the advantage, attack the advantage. If the defense rotates, look for the open man.
Styles attacking Raynaud. Turns. The tip by Middlebrooks not there, but a whistle.
Stanford ball handlers, keep it simple. If you see the downhill opportunity, take it. If he steps up, make that right read. Great decision right there by Agarwal with the drop and the dunk.
2 shots for Ben Middlebrooks. And Middlebrooks still looking to get on the scoreboard. The foul was on Stinson, his 3rd. Middlebrooks, last 4 games, just 3 of 15 from the field. We mentioned the foul trouble. He's got 3 already today. Jalen Thompson in for Stinson, who's given Kyle Smith some good minutes off the bench.
With guys out, opportunities present themselves. You have to be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
1 out of 2 for Middlebrooks, the former Clemson Tiger, who spent his first 3 collegiate seasons backing up some pretty good bigs. P.J. Hall at Clemson, then D.J. Burns at NC State.
Anish, one thing about playing against pressure defense is you have to keep it simple, but you have to attack the pressure. Attack the pressure and then make a decision.
Raynaud went right at Middlebrooks and drops it in for 2.
Keep it simple. Be aggressive. If they're coming at me aggressive, I'm attacking that pressure and then looking at the opportunity that presents itself.
9 points for Raynaud to go along with 6 rebounds. He's the national leader with 19 double-doubles. O'Connell over Raynaud. Rebound Agarwal. Stanford can take the lead with a 3. They go down low. Raynaud drops it in for 2 more.
And that's great recognition right there by Agarwal. Just seeing the mismatch, something that they didn't do in the first half, getting into Raynaud and an easy finish at the rim.
11 for Raynaud, 7 in the first 4 minutes of this second half. Middlebrooks for 3, way short. 4 for 16 from 3 on the season. Just 5 for 35 for his career.
Yeah, I think that's a shot that Coach Kevin Keats does not want to see Middlebrook take.
Agarwal's 3 hits the back rim. Middlebrooks wants it. Size advantage on Sellers. There's the double. Taylor's three rattles home.
Great job by Middlebrooks being patient, seeing who's open, hitting the cross-court pass, great extra pass in the corner. And if you get an opportunity at three-point, I don't care what the percentages are, you have to be able to shoot it.
Raynaud is fouled. If that's Middlebrooks, that is 4. It is 4 fouls on Middlebrooks.
For Stanford, Raynaud just has to be aggressive. He knows Middlebrooks is foul prone. Put the ball down on the ground, attack his chest. Great job recognizing he was in transition. Raynaud with the easy finish.
Eric Devendorf, Maxime Raynaud, 3 for 3, 7 points in the second half. He's got 11 and 7 for the game, closing in on double-double number 20. And on the last possession, he drove on Middlebrooks, this time hanging in the Louvre.
He's smelling blood. First half was a different story than this half. He smells blood, and now he is attacking. Maxime Raynaud, hello.
He got Middlebrooks out of the game with the 4 fouls as the 3 goes for Jaden Taylor, 33% from deep. He's trying to shake a little bit of a shooting slump. And they're going to give it to Raynaud. He has done what he has wanted to do in the second half. Raynaud from the corner. Now the entire crowd odd as that shot went up. Parker had the hot hand early. Had Styles who couldn't handle. Styles against Raynaud. Step back, short, tipped. Rebound number 8 for Raynaud.
And Anish, I think for NC State, that's the advantage that they have on this end. Styles has to attack Raynaud. Great job by Okpara attacking the rim right there. Semi-transition opportunity.
Stinson back in for Stanford. Parker 4 threes in the first half. Taylor down low. Doof.
Well, NC State is going to continue this ball pressure throughout the game.
And this time it's Ismail Doof picking up the foul. When Raynaud touches the ball, good things are happening for Stanford.
Well, this is a different Raynaud in the second half. He's just being aggressive right here, taking off. 7'1", attacking the rim, and nobody's going to get in the way of that right there. We need to see more of that from Raynaud, just being aggressive towards the rim.
Raynaud thought about the 3. The handoff. Sellers, well, they are looking for 42. Raynaud looking for Sellers. Stinson playing wingman.
I tell you what, Anish, they're looking for that third guy besides Sellers and Raynaud, and right now Stinson is taking advantage of the opportunity that is given.
He's 2 for 3 from three-point range. He was 5 for 24 on the season entering play. Taylor's 3, back iron. Rebound Donovan Young. Stanford can take the lead. Oziyah Sellers fouled on the drive. It's on Marcus Hill.
And Stanford's capable of getting out and playing fast and getting opportunities in transition. You don't always want to have to play against a set defense in half court. Get out and try to get easy opportunities.
The double-edged sword for Stanford is they're not necessarily built to play for long stretches at an up-tempo pace like NC State. It's just don't have the depth, and even more so without Blakes, without Gieler.
But when the opportunity presents itself, you have to be able to take advantage of it.
Opportunity presenting itself for Maxime Raynaud. He's got 15.
And I'm 6'4", but if I was 7'1", I'm attacking the rim every single time. Raynaud has found his groove in the second half.
First lead for Stanford since it was 8-5. Parker. That's his first miss from 3. Tipped back. Parker blocked from behind by Young, but they'll get Donovan Young with his 3rd foul. Now, this age where guys leave and seeing a player at 3 schools in 4 years has become something we're accustomed to. How much does staying at one program help you? Look at Maxime Raynaud's development.
I'll tell you what, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. If you're transferring every other year, it takes a lot to get used to this system. Raynaud has stuck here with Stanford. He's a loyal guy, and he's developed every single year, and now he's put himself in position to be a first-round NBA draft pick.
Yeah, he initially did enter the transfer portal when Stanford made their coaching change, and then chose to return. And you don't hear this often, but at a place like Stanford, it makes sense. A big reason that he came back, academics.
Academics, a smart kid. And also, you got to give credit to the coaching staff and Coach Kyle Smith. Heck of a guy, personable guy, and I'm sure that had a decision in Raynaud staying as well.
14 points now for Parker, 1 off a career high he set just recently against Duke. Raynaud, that time too much, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cardinal, new 20, and 12-10 to go in this second half. Competitive game. Stanford at 7-5 in conference play, looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. You got NC State 2-9 in conference. They've lost 7 in a row. They have yet to win a game outside of Raleigh this season.
Anish, you see the difference when Raynaud gets the ball inside the three-point line compared to starting outside of the three-point line. Get him in a position where he can be more effective. He's capable, but get him it lower so now he can just make a quick move and get to the bucket.
Raynaud wants it. Agarwal on the drive. And a chance for 3.
How do you attack this NC State pressure? Go right at it. Ryan Agarwal, get you an and one, young man.
Maxime Raynaud has a chance to lead the ACC in scoring and rebounding. He currently leads in both categories. The last 5 players in the ACC to do it all won Conference Player of the Year. Now, historical season for Raynaud. The problem is generational, transcendent season for Duke's Cooper Flagg. And with all due respect, I would be stunned if anybody outside of the Duke freshman was ACC Player of the Year.
Well, he's not only going to be ACC Player of the Year, but I think he's in the running for NCAA Player of the Year. In my mind, he's the best player in the country, and that's not discrediting anything that Raynaud is doing. Any other year, he would have been ACC Player of the Year, and Raynaud still is an All-American candidate.
No doubt.
No doubt.
That doesn't fall for Duke. Kaman the rebound, and now Stanford's got some size out there. The 6'10 Kaman. Raynaud at 7'1. Opara at 6'8. It's a small lineup for NC State. Raynaud over Doof. Too strong. Now Parker. Spin cycle. He's got Raynaud on the switch. Raynaud falls. Sellers bothered the shot. Second chance. Doof. 3 is not there, and Raynaud 1 rebound away from his 20th double-double.
And Anish, we're going back to the Cal game when NC State had 5 assists on 24 field goals. It's too much iso ball going on. All that's going to lead to is tough shots. You got to get some ball movement side to side, create those driving lanes so you can get easier looks at the basket.
Yeah, that's been an issue all season long for the Pack. Agarwal driving on Parker, leaves it for Opara, and Stanford extends its lead to 4.
Really love how Agarwal has kind of settled into that point guard role this half, making great decisions.
Kevin Keats wants a timeout. Maxime Raynaud from the City of Lights has lit a fire under this Stanford team. They're on a 10-2 run. Tonight, after ACC basketball, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the day and the night in the ACC highlights analysis of all the games and some significant changes in bracketology. Wake Forest going 2-0 in California. Beat Stanford on Wednesday. They beat Cal today. Winning on the road has been challenging for Wake. They have now moved into Joe's projected field. Joe Lunardi, they're the last team in. SMU off this weekend. They're in action at home against Pitt on Wednesday. Big game. Both teams on the bubble. SMU part of that last four-in group, or first four-out group, as is North Carolina, which beat Pitt. So UNC now one of the first four out. Pitt goes from first four out to next four out.
We're in the part of the season right now where every game counts. It's a big clump in that middle of the conference. Duke, Clemson, SMU really separated themselves, but everybody else is right there within each other.
Raynaud has taken over in the second half. 13 of his 17 since halftime. 12-2 Stanford run and 7 unanswered. O'Connell. Hill, he's not a great outside shooter. That's a long two. Cannon snags the carom.
Every single shot that NC State ends up in an ISO. There's no shots off a ball movement, off a drive and kick opportunities. Every shot is a tough shot.
Oparo is open. Instead, they go and play through Raynaud. He does it again. 19 for the Frenchman.
I think they found out where he's most effective at. Down low in the post. Yes, we know he's capable of bringing the ball up, but get him down low right there where he can just turn and attack.
Can the Wolfpack stem a 9-0 run? Stanford with its biggest lead. And they're going to get Cameron with a reach in on Styles.
And Anish, it was a good play from Styles being aggressive, but it's so hard to play like that because now all the defense is loaded up, looking at you, ready to play. You have to get some more ball movement.
And Ben Middlebrooks about to check in for NC State with the 4 fouls. I think Kevin Keatts realizes he needs some resistance against Maxime Raynaud. And if Middlebrooks fouls out, I mean, listen, he hasn't been on the floor a whole lot because of fouls anyway.
Right now, if I'm Raynaud, and I'm telling, give me the basketball. First of all, Middlebrooks can't guard me. Second of all, he has 4 fouls, and I'm going to attack him, and I'm going to foul out of this game. Or foul Middlebrooks out of this game.
NC State has missed 8 of its last 9 field goals, including 7 in a row. They've got almost 5 minutes since their last field goal. Agarwal guarded by a pesky Parker. Raynaud against Middlebrooks. Picked up the bounce, 10 to shoot. Agarwal on the drive, pulls up, uses the window, deposit slip for 2.
And that's a tough shot, a good make for Stanford. But again, why is Raynaud playing out on the perimeter? Get him down low where he's effective and foul Middlebrooks out of this game.
What does NC State have to do to get the offense out of hibernation?
They have to get some good ball movement, some side to side, and they got to create those driving opportunities where you get a chance at the rim, or if the defense helps, you get a drive and kick.
Middlebrooks, no. Battle for the board, won by O'Connell. Parker, high-arcing 3, his 5th triple of the game.
Okay, Trey Parker, we know you can make tough shots, but again, to your point, Anish, that's not sustainable basketball. You have to be able to figure out a way how to get some easier shots. Trey Parker, he's been hitting them with the slip and slide all game. Go ahead and get you another Trey ball, young man. Trey Parker knocking it down. Maxime Raynaud has taken over in this second half. 15 of his 19 points here in the second half to go along with 11 rebounds. He just tied the school record today for most double-doubles in the season. And yes, he's capable of doing it out on the perimeter, but get him the ball where he's most effective, and that's down low in the post. And when he gets it there, turn and be aggressive and attack the basket.
19 points, 9 of 14, 11 rebounds, 20 double-doubles on the season. Number 1 in all of Division I. That's 20 double-doubles in 24 games. Opara wild. Wolfpack looking to push. They've got numbers. Opara finally gets back. Taylor, the turnaround. No good, and a foul against Stanford. Wolfpack ice cold from the field. 1 for their last 10. Just 5 of 19 in the second half.
And Anish, now, like when NC State gets those opportunities in transition, they have to be able to explode and just and look to take advantage of that. They're struggling getting anything in the half court right now.
A foul on Raynaud, Stanford's 7th. So Middlebrooks to the free throw line. It'll be a 1-and-1 single bonus. Middlebrooks 73%.
Okay,
how long can Middlebrooks stay on the floor? That's going to be key for NC State.
If I'm Stanford right now, he's out of there after this next possession right now. I have to go, if I'm Stanford, I have to look for Raynaud in the post. You see right now they have Styles on him, but you have to be able to try to get him into a switch situation to where you could attack Middlebrooks.
Trey Parker away from the ball. 16 foul on the pack. So the next one puts Stanford in the bonus.
And even right now with Styles guarding Raynaud, you have the advantage. Go to him. Okay, you're not going to guard me with Middlebrooks. Put me down on the post, and I'm going to go attack Styles.
Shot clock at 6. Agarwal leans into Styles, tried to draw the foul. Styles held his ground.
Well, that's the last thing you want if you're Stanford. And you see right now, Raynaud, he's tired. He's gasping for air right now. Don't make him do too much. Just get him into a spot. You have to set a screen so he can get the advantage coming off and get him to look easy at the basket.
O'Connell without a point today. Parker, he put some helium on those shots. Raynaud with a dozen rebounds. Here comes Sellers. Inside, fouled. It's going to be on O'Connell, his third.
And if they're not going to get Raynaud the ball down low in the post, we haven't really talked about Sellers at all this second half. Get downhill, put your shoulders to the basket, be aggressive, and look for an opportunity. If you don't finish, try to get an opportunity at the foul line. Make two.
Sellers at the free throw line. 89% in conference play. Women's basketball for you every Sunday here on the ACC Network. This week's doubleheader, the Commonwealth clash between Virginia Tech and Virginia. And then we get to see the great Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame. They're home for 21st ranked Cal. First 2 points of the second half for Oziyah Sellers, the USC transfer. He's in double figures for a 10th straight game. Taylor picked up by Raynaud. Deep three over the backboard, Stanford ball.
And those shots just aren't going to cut it for NC State. They've been playing the whole second half shooting those type of shots. They already struggle shooting the ball. Now they're not getting good opportunities and good looks. This is the way that their offense is going to play.
NC State 5 of 21 in the second half. They've missed 11 of their last 12. Stanford, meanwhile, shooting 70% since the break. Sellers. Rebound, Hill. Hill likes to drive downhill against Agarwal for 2.
If you're going to attack, if you're NC State, attack early in your offensive set when Stanford's not set up defensively.
9 for Marcus Hill, the team's leading scorer and almost 13 a game. I think they're going to get Middlebrooks with a foul. They do, and that is 5, and he is done.
Wow, that is a horrible foul. To foul out on that type of play right there, he has to be smarter than that.
Ben Middlebrooks now in his last 5 games has 13 points and 19 fouls.
Yeah, not a good ratio right there.
And so Kevin Keats, for the last 5:41 in regulation, with his team down 4, does not have his top 2 bigs going up against one of the best big men in the country. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield, who normally would be the backup 5, he didn't make the trip to California dealing with his shoulder, so these are big minutes now for Ismail Diouf.
Now, if I'm NC State, I watched them in practice the other day. They're working on a little bit of zone. Do they junk it up and do they show a different defense, put it into a little zone and try to, mix it up with Stanford and keep them off balance?
In the first half, what worked against Raynaud was bringing the ball up. And NC State was able to wear him out. He only played about 11 and a half minutes in the first half. Stanford adjusted. They stopped doing that with Raynaud in the second half. He's been able to park in the post, and he's been cooking.
guys got a little bit more comfortable handling the ball for Stanford. Agarwal, Sellers in the first half. NC State did a good job of getting up and under them. Now they're comfortable, they're attacking the pressure, and they're able to make decisions at the rim.
Who's the guy for NC State? In these spots last year, you could go to DJ Horn. You could go to DJ Burns. Hill, the Bowling Green transfer, offline. Sellers got free. Raynaud bats it back. And it's going to be a 1-and-1, a foul on NC State. And Maxime Raynaud to the free throw line.
And right now, Stanford, if they just take their time and execute in the half court, they have the advantage every single time. Offensively, you have to find out how you can get Raynaud coming off a cross screen. Defense is going to be in a scramble on that screen, and now you could hit him in that mid-post, low-post area where he could just catch it and turn.
In ACC play, Raynaud 37 of 40 at the stripe.
Anish, NC State, they have to find out a way offensively to get some ball movement and to get the Stanford defense moving side to side. Every single shot in this second half has been a tough shot. And again, you can't sustain a whole game playing basketball like that.
And Kevin Keats' team, they are searching for answers. Who steps up in the big spot? Who gets you into the offense? And we'll get a foul on Cameron away from the ball, his third. So a 1-and-1 for NC State. Stanford from here on out in the double bonus.
So in the first half, NC State was able to create havoc, and Stanford was turning the ball over. Now Stanford's doing a good job of taking care of the ball. How else can NC State score? In half court, they haven't been able to get any type of ball movement. In the first half, they were scoring off of Stanford's turnovers.
Stanford only has one turnover in the second half.
They've been doing a great job of taking care of the ball. And against this pressure defense of NC State, you have to be able to take care of the ball. They've been turning the ball over these last 2 games, last 2.5 games. They've been doing a great job in this second half of just calming down and handling the pressure.
The free throw line is what's kept NC State in this game in the second half. 13 out of 15 at the stripe, 6 of 23 from the field, and Styles has had a big hand in it. 15 points, 11 of 14 from the line. Able to break the press. Here comes Raynaud. Over to Sellers, blocked.
And in niche for the rest of this game, NC State shooting 34% from the field. For the rest of this game, if Stanford can stay composed and not turn over the basketball, they're going to be in good shape to win it.
Do they double Raynaud? Plenty of time to shoot. Baseline drive, tough angle, side of the backboard. NC State with numbers. Parker over to Hill, strong to the tin, 2-point game.
With NC State struggling to score the basketball in half court, they have to be able to create easy opportunities at the bucket. Marcus Hill with the finish. Their pressure is going to come ramp up.
You expect NC State to turn the dial pressure-wise. Stanford, no field goals in almost 4 minutes, and this is not a deep team. Stanford even more shorthanded with the injuries to Blake's, and then to Gieler being out with the illness. So We've seen Stanford sometimes run out of juice down the stretch. That's going to be something to watch here in the last 4.5 minutes. NC State can get after you.
Well, you know NC State is bringing the pressure the rest of the game. You have to stay composed, bring the ball up over half court, not turn it over. And what was working for Stanford in the second half was getting Raynaud the ball closer to the rim. You have to find ways to get him the ball closer to the rim where he can be most effective.
Raynaud's been on the floor almost the entire second half. I'm not sure he's taking a rest. And we get a foul underneath as Styles and Raynaud battling for position. And they're going to get Styles on the foul. So that's now a double bonus, 2 shots for Stanford.
And they're not going to make it easy for Raynaud to catch the ball, but he has to be able to get his position, seal off, and make it a clear pass for his teammates. Right here, good job by Styles just being aggressive, but just over-aggressive, and they're going to call that every single time. But that's how NC State has to play.
At 6'6", trying to defend 7-1. "22 points, a dozen rebounds for the freshman."
So, Anish, if I see the advantage that we have, if I'm Stanford against NC State, I'm going back to that every single time down the floor until they stop it or until it doesn't work. I think sometimes, Anish, you see Raynaud going out the game getting a blow. Yeah,
a very savvy breather for Raynaud with the under 4 media timeout coming, and you can steal maybe a couple of possessions where you give Raynaud a breather.
Just a couple. Not a lot, just a couple.
Styles fell. Tied up. Possession arrow Stanford. Stanford ball, the Cardinal with a 4-point lead. Can NC State figure it out on the road, or will the Cardinal prevail? A fun finish coming up. 3:54 to go here at Maples Pavilion. Stanford 14 out of 24 from the field in the second half. They have started to take care of the ball. Maxime Raynaud has done most of his damage offensively since the break. He recorded double-double number 20 on the season, tying Adam Keefe's single-season school record. These last 4 minutes for both teams, what does it come down to?
If I'm Stanford, just keep it simple. Take care of the basketball when you get into the half-court set. Give the ball to your best player, Maxime Raynaud. And if I'm North Carolina State, you have to try to find some turnovers you can create and get easy opportunities at the basket. If not, in half-court, you have to get some ball movement to create some side-to-side movement from the Stanford defense.
Opara defended by Taylor. Raynaud, a three. Short. Side rim. And Doof controls. Lob up ahead. Styles has been the aggressor today. 14 free throw attempts for Dontrez Styles. Parker, the freshman, on the floor. He's got a career-high 17. Hill, the leading scorer, with a chance for three the old-fashioned way.
And Anish, if you don't get any ball movement, I guess just give the ball to Marcus Hill and let him get downhill, be strong at the rim, and get an opportunity for and one. Again, it's not sustainable basketball, but if Stanford is going to let them get to the rim like that, NC State is going to take it all day. On the other end, Stanford is making it hard for themselves. Get Raynaud the ball where he is most effective.
Donovan Young picked up his fourth. 14 points for Hill. He had 20 Wednesday against Cal, and a basket, a score. It allows NC State to set up its press. And that's when they've been most effective, because it takes Stanford longer to get into their offense.
And even if Stanford doesn't turn over the ball, NC State almost has an effect where they're making Stanford rush more and making a quicker decision, and they haven't been great at making those quick decisions.
Agarwal fighting through traffic. Opara the putback. Three-point game, 2:40 to go. Styles faces up. No good. Agarwal with the board. Raynaud setting the high screen. Agarwal inside. Wild shot. Tries to keep it in bounds. He can't. Back to NC State.
Last 3 possessions for Stanford, Raynaud has not touched the ball in the low post. He touched it one time, and he got the ball with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and it was a desperation 3. Stanford has to be able to recognize what was working for them in the second half. I have no clue why they're going away from it.
Yeah, remember, Ben Middlebrooks is fouled out. Brandon Huntley Hatfield, the top 2 bigs, not available. For Stanford, they're playing without their top 2 point guards, Jalen Blakes and Benny Gieler. Parker ran into the trees, and Doof is fouled. It's on Agarwal. Both teams in the double bonus. It was a shooting foul nonetheless. So Ishmael Deef will go to the line.
And Anish, one thing that Ishmael has done a good job is just being available at the rim. These guards are going to get downhill, and they're going to create opportunities where the defense has to help. He's been doing a great job of just being available at the rim, and when he catches it, going up strong.
He missed them both. When do they go to Maxime Raynaud? Now. Caught it low in the post, fouled immediately by Doof, and 2 shots. Raynaud with 23 and 12 with a chance to tack on.
Well, and here's my thing. They're also in the double bonus. So even if you don't get him the ball, look at him. They're being physical with him, and they're more likely going to commit a foul.
5 for 5 at the stripe tonight. "20 points in the second half for Raynaud."
And Anish, he's been playing like it, but it just goes to show you when you don't have your primarily ball handler coming in and making decisions, they miss Jalen Blakes.
Yeah, he's missed 3 straight with a head injury. Five-point game. Parker, Styles, and the 3 is good. 18 for Dontrez Styles, and that time we saw NC State create and get a teammate a good look.
If you can get some ball movement, you want to be able to get downhill. You see, getting to the top of the key, Dontrez Styles knocking it down.
ACC
Shooting team in the conference, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's just crazy how they're not going to him every time.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I mean, I know the ball pressure has a lot to do with it.
Stanford will inbound. 2-point game after the Styles 3. Both teams in the double bonus. Stanford as a team, 86% from the line in conference play. Tops in the ACC. Raynaud down low. Poked away, 14 to shoot, Cardinal ball.
And if I'm Raynaud, when I get the ball, yeah, you want to see what you got, but you have to go before that double team comes.
Sellers to inbound. Raynaud on the perimeter. Backing down Doof. 5 to shoot. To a cutting Okpara. Blocked by Styles. We get a jump ball possession arrow to NC State. And now the Wolfpack with 101 can tie with a 2 and to take the lead with a 3. And this is the challenge for NC State in these spots. Who's the guy?
It's been Trey Parker today. It's also been Dontrez Styles. So you have 2 options. You just don't want to get put in an ISO situation. Get some movement from side to side off the pick and roll downhill so you can have the advantage like that right there. Trey Parker making a great play at the rim.
I don't think you had Doof on the bingo card. We are tied at 71. But it was Parker creating. Stanford's missed 9 of its last 10. 19-second differential. Game clock into shot clock. Sellers on the drive, lost it. Kamen lost it, but a foul. They get Styles.
Trey Parker, you get into the pick and roll opportunity, get downhill, make that defense help. Great drop right there to Ishmael for the finish at the bucket. Trey Parker has been making plays all game. The freshman is continuing to improve.
He had the assist to Styles as well. Kamen, only a 53% free throw shooter, gets the first. 11 of 20 now on the season from the line. The foul on Styles, his 4th.
Now Anish coming down. Go to what worked if you're NC State. Go back into that ball screen. Try to get downhill and create an advantage.
Big miss. NC State can take the lead. Parker using the Doof screen. Styles gets free. His 3 blocked by Kamen. The putback by the freshman And Clarence Armstrong wants to take a look at the monitor. I wonder if this is a timing issue.
How about Trey Parker? He's not even 6 foot, and he's just going up there with the big boys, and he's fired up right now. He's been having a heck of a game for NC State.
Anish Shroff, Eric Devendorf, and Trey Parker has made winning plays now. He had the assist to Styles on the 3. He had the assist down low to Duke for the 2 to tie. And then the offensive rebound and the putback to give NC State a lead. They are looking at the clock, and it's 17.3 for Stanford. The Cardinal can hold for 1. They're in the double bonus, down 1. They just need a 2. I don't think this is a mystery as to who's touching the ball.
Well, if I'm Stanford, if they take away Raynaud, we haven't really heard a lot from Sellers in the second half, but he has the capability to turn that corner and be aggressive at the rim.
NC State looking to snap a 7-game losing streak. They haven't won a road game in almost a calendar year. Agarwal on the drive, all the way, switcheroo! Stanford by 1. Final 8 seconds, here comes Parker. And we get a timeout. Kyle Smith uses his final timeout. NC State with the ball, Stanford with the lead.
Well, we said Sellers, we said Raynaud. How about Ryan Agarwal right here, just taking it to the rim, playing through the contact. Tough finish in the lane, the up and under finishing with the right hand.
Let's go Stanford! Let's go Stanford! Let's go Stanford!
This morning, with Jalen Blake's out, we asked Kyle Smith, who's your third option behind Raynaud and Sellers? He paused for a good bit before he said Okpara, and then you brought up Agarwal, and you said, yeah, that's a guy that, we see signs of him coming to life. Played pretty well in the Wake Forest game, had 12 points, 9 today, along with 7 rebounds and 8 assists.
Well, look, you don't want to have injuries if you're Stanford, but what it also does is present opportunities for other guys to step up and see what they're capable of. You see Ryan Agarwal really taking advantage of his opportunities. And if I'm NC State on this last possession, go back into that pick and roll, try to get downhill. If I'm Stanford, I'm loading up defensively and making them take those jump shots.
I got to imagine Trey Parker has earned to be at the controls in this moment.
Absolutely. If I'm NC State, I'm giving him the ball and I'm letting him make a play. But you have to know they're going to load up, so you have to be able to make the right decision, see who's open.
They added some time, 8.2. Parker with a career-high 19 points, 5 assists. Styles will inbound, and he can run the baseline.
Great decision by Stanford to pick up full court, not let him get comfortable bringing the ball up.
Marcus Hill, the team's leading scorer. And Kevin Keats calls a timeout. 3.9 seconds to go. This doesn't leave NC State a whole lot of time. What do you draw up with about 4 seconds to go?
So you got to get something quick. I'm trying to get Trey Parker coming off this zipper right here into the top where he can catch it and go right into the ball screen and try to go downhill. If they help in, you got to have a shooter in that corner just to give Parker another option.
Parker with 5 assists, and he has been the catalyst of this late comeback by NC State. The Wolfpack have made 5 of their last 7 shots. Stanford battling today without their top 2 point guards. NC State without its top 2 bigs. Middlebrooks fouled out. Huntley Hatfield did not make the trip to California. Wolfpack last won a true road game at Clemson on the 17th of February of last year. On the season, 0-6 in true road games, 0-2 on the neutral court. Overall, they've lost 7 in a row. Stanford's been pretty good at home, 12-2 this season.
And the game started out super sloppy, right? The first 12 minutes, both teams were sloppy with the ball, not making shots, but you got to give both teams credit. The effort and the energy has definitely picked up, and both teams are really competing at a high level, giving themselves a chance to win the game.
Clarence Armstrong, the head official at the scores table, and they're just looking at the timing one more time to make sure that the scoreboard and the clock shows the correct amount of time remaining. Four-tenths of a second added, so 4.3 on the game clock. Styles with 18, Parker with 19, Hill with 14. They've been the top 3 offensively today for State. Jaden Taylor to inbound in front of the Wolfpack bench. Here comes Hill. 3, 2. Kicks to the corner, shot on the way, and rims out, and Stanford